So hello and welcome everybody to another segment here at www.journeyman1.com, and today we have with us Michelle Vassallo from Melbourne in Victoria, Australia. Thank you very much for being with us here tonight.
Pleasure, Leslie. Hello everyone.
Tonight's topic is massage. And Michelle has been doing massage now for about 15 years. She has her own business as well. So how did you actually get into this field of massage and why?
That's a really good question, Leslie. I'd actually had quite a few other jobs before I came to massage. I was in my early 30s and I had been working out of Korea and India and Thailand producing jewellery, and I was selling it in Australia. And one day I just thought, I just can't keep doing this. I'm selling lots of stuff to people who don't really need it, and there's something else that I'd really like to be doing, and I didn't know what it was. So I sold my business and took a couple of weeks, sat down, got my top 3 list of things that I really wanted to do, and at the top of it was massage. And probably because I'd had a lot of experience with receiving massage, and I'd been in and out of Thailand, so I'd experienced quite a bit of massage there. And also through all the different sporting training that I'd done, one of the only things that actually kept me going towards the goals that I wanted sporting-wise was massage. So all of those things combined, and the fact that there were no overheads really to become a massage therapist except to study. I didn't have to have a shop front if I didn't want to. I didn't have to buy stock. I didn't have to wait for people to pay me for 30 days plus. All of those things pointed in the right direction. And I thought, I think massage would be really interesting profession to follow because it's being of service and you can work for yourself. You can choose your own hours and you can make people feel good. And having somebody walk out of your room feeling good, really, because I'd been in the person's walking out of the room feeling good shoes, I wanted to be the other person. So that's how I got into it.
And so when you were learning how to do massage, like how long was the course that you actually did, like to start off with?
At the point where I came in, it was 2002. It was the last year of the 12 months. So we did a certificate 4 and the remedial diploma in the space of 12 months. And since it's shifted, it's gone 18 months and then it went back to 12 and now it's back to 18 again. Okay. So getting the Cert 4 done and then the remedial diploma in 12 months was no mean feat. There was a lot of subjects in there. And the attrition rate was pretty high. We lost quite a few people from our class. So by the time that we finished 12 months later, we had less than half of the people we started with, just because it was a lot to take in 12 months.
Yeah. I'm just curious about like some history in regards to massage, like so how old is massage? Like how far back does it actually go?
The earliest recorded evidence, I guess you'd call it, of massage is 3000 BCE. So that's almost 5,000 years ago. And the 2 earliest places that it was recorded were China and also India. In India, 3000 BCE, there was a lot of the Ayurvedic massage happening, and so that was a really big component of Ayurvedic treatment. And in China, it was being used along with Chinese medicine to treat all sorts of physical ailments. And then towards 1000 BCE, so about 3000 years ago, we start finding evidence of massage being used in Japanese healing traditions. So it's pretty old.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And like over time, would that have evolved too, or has it just pretty much just stayed very similar to the original hands-on massage?
That's a good question. It's all hands-on. If you look at all the different treating modalities, physical therapies, massage therapists actually, per minute spend more time with their hands on clients and bodies than anybody else in the healthcare profession. So chiropractors and physiotherapists and osteopaths spend quite a bit of time with their hands on, but massage therapists actually spend more time than that. So the whole hour or hour and a half treatment time, we're hands on. And it's difficult to say. Massage has evolved in lots of different directions. So there's lots of different types of massage. And if you look back at history, earliest recorded massage was mostly to do with muscular issues. Okay. So today we have lots of different types. For example, we've got manual lymphatic drainage, and we've got myofascial tension technique, and all different sort of styles and genres of massage. And there wasn't really anything written about those genres early on. So I'm sure it's evolved, but let's face it, it's definitely hands-on bodies, and that aspect of it hasn't changed.
Yeah. Like with some of the naming of different massages, like, are they all very similar, as in like a Thai massage and say like a remedial massage? Are they the same?
No, absolutely not. You know, I actually take the public clinic at Victoria University and at RMIT University, both in Melbourne, and there's not that much similarity between, for example, a Thai massage and different types of remedial treatments. So the remedial massage banner covers many types of hands-on manual technique. So you could be doing myofascial release to the fascia. You could be doing trigger point therapy to the muscles. You could be doing deep tissue to a muscle group. You could be doing manual lymphatic drainage to the fluid that sits on top of the muscle groups. So under the one umbrella of the word massage, you know, there's 50 or more different types of techniques that all actually are standalone. So in one remedial massage treatment, you would have some digital ischemic pressure, some deep tissue, some trigger point therapy, some cross friction, some myofascial tension technique. All of those things are different. Each one of those techniques is a separate class at uni, but it's actually pulling out parts of each of those separate techniques to produce a massage protocol for each individual client. So you'll never get a client on the table and do exactly the same massage for every client. You have to assess, you have to work out from a physical standpoint, an emotional and a mental standpoint where they're at, and then you have to tailor your massage techniques according to how you think they'll respond, what you're treating, and what you really like to use as well. Because the best techniques are the ones that you love.
Oh, okay. Like, do all massages, well, there we go, that pretty much answered the next question anyway that I was sort of had in mind, and that was like, do all massage focus on releasing the pressure points?
Not necessarily. So no. You know, there's certain types of massage that don't even have anything to do with pressure points or trigger points, as they're called. For example, my specialty is to do with the lymphatic fluid of the body, and that has nothing to do with muscles, tendons, very little to do with fascia. It has nothing to do with ligaments. It really has nothing to do with the musculoskeletal. It's more to do with the body's fluid and the lymphatic fluid, which most of it sits just under the surface of the skin above the muscle and the fascia. So lots of different types of techniques addressing lots of different aspects of the physical being.
Okay. So with the, hang on. Yeah, there you go. How has the perception of manual lymphatic drainage as a therapy changed and evolved in the community?
That's a good question. So when I first learned, I'm going to call it MLD just for the ease of, you know, getting it out there and speeding up the interview. So MLD, when I first learned it back in 2002, was not a very well-known massage technique. It was more to do with physiotherapists who'd been using a different type of technique to treat the fluid of the body. It had been around for a long time, since the 50s and 60s, but as the public's perception of it gradually started to change with the advent of it being taught more in massage schools to massage therapists. But manual lymphatic drainage actually started to get real recognition probably in the last 5 years as more therapists started learning it as part of their remedial diploma. More therapists actually started incorporating it into their remedial treatment. Popular sporting clubs, so Australian rules football, started using manual lymphatic drainage as a pre and post treatment for players, post-surgical, pre-game, post-game recovery massage as well. Also, cosmetic surgery clinics have started using it as part of their treatment protocol. So when a client comes in to have, say, some facial structuring surgery done or any kind of cosmetic surgery, generally lymphatic drainage treatments will be built into the before care and the after care as well, because we can see that it works and it halves the healing time and it speeds up the healing process and it gets people back on their feet a lot more quickly than regular massage, which often is contraindicated, or just purely pharmaceuticals. So as people have seen results and as more research has started to be done, particularly post-breast cancer mastectomies, the public is getting an idea of what lymphatic drainage is. Massage therapists are starting to talk about it. Schools are starting to teach it. I'm out there promoting it. And so people are starting to understand that it's good for so many things. That's how it's changed.
Like in regards to, say, hand pressure used for that particular thing, like so I'm just like is it obvious that it is with the hands that you actually do this?
Yes,
I'm not really sure.
That's a good
So
question.
is it like a different pressure that you actually use,
Absolutely.
like with your hands with that? Yeah.
So how I start my classes is I take in uncooked eggs and I get everybody to take an egg out of the egg carton. That's the first thing I do. And then I say, what I want you to do for me is take the egg and I want you to place it in the palm of your hand and I want you to place your other hand on top and I want you to roll the egg between your palms. Now, if you think about an egg and rolling it, it actually doesn't take much pressure at all to roll an egg anywhere. If you push a little bit too hard, you'll squash the egg or you'll smash it. So the pressure for lymphatic drainage is the pressure that it takes to roll an uncooked egg across the palm of your hand. It's known as 60 grams of pressure or butterfly touch. And so a lot of the things that we face as therapists is educating our clients to understand that they're lying there expecting a massage, traditional massage, but what manual lymphatic drainage is going to do is address the fluid that sits above the muscles. You've got 7.5 litres on average of fluid sitting just above the muscles. Yeah. You've got 10 litres of lymphatic fluid in the body. You've only got 5 litres of blood on the best of days. So you've got 7.5 litres of fluid just under the surface of the skin in being carried in lymphatic capillaries that are only 1 cell thick. So if you press even a tiny bit too hard, those capillaries squash down and you don't move any fluid and it takes them 20 minutes to puff back out. So the deal is it's the most super light massage you can imagine, and you don't actually massage on the skin, you massage with the skin. So you place the hand down and you only give the massage with as much give as the skin will allow. So it's you place the hand down in full contact with the surface of the skin and you give a little push, and it's only as much as the skin will move. It's not sliding on the skin. So that's how it's done.
Oh, right. Like with that kind of massage, can you actually use essential oils or no?
No. You can use essential oils in the room, and essential oils are a beautiful adjunct. I love essential oils, and I'll often have some in a bowl of hot water just underneath the table so that you're getting the scent of the essential oils. But the medium that we normally use is arrowroot or cornflower. We don't use any oil, we don't use any wax, and we don't use any essential oils. What we aim to do is to get a very soft covering of cornflower or arrowroot just to prevent our hands sticking to the skin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a whole different world of massage.
It is, isn't it? That's very different. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a great tool, you know. There's so many massage therapists and healers and osteopaths and physios and nurses that are taking the tool of lymphatic drainage and using it as part of their own toolbox. So, for example, a lot of my students at uni will study the remedial massage. They'll have clients coming in, and they'll have clients coming in with, say, an injury. Say the client is post-arthroscope, so knee surgery. The first thing that I'll recommend is do some lymphatic drainage to get the fluid out of the area that you're going to be working on, because by moving the fluid, you're actually going to be creating space so that you can access the muscle group and the fascia. And by moving fluid, you're also kicking in the parasympathetic nervous system so that the client will relax, and then the muscles will relax, and it will reduce the hypertonicity of the muscle group that you want to work on. So the reality is, if you use lymphatic drainage, you actually only have to work half as hard to get twice the result.
Okay. Now, I'm just curious too, like, is there a specific diet that the person that is actually receiving that treatment, do they need to eat anything in particular or drink anything particular for the next 24 hours, like,
Absolutely.
or 3 days or something afterwards?
The best results come when people are detoxing, to be honest. So when you've removed a lot of the processed packaged foods from the diet and you're working on a vegetable and fruit, kind of a clean green diet, remove alcohol, remove meat, the best results come when people have a lymphatic drainage during a detox, because they're actually able to stop stressing out the digestive system, remove the toxins from the body, and there's a lot of toxins and preservatives in food that we eat and things we put in our bodies. So the most effective drainage will be the drainage that's worked in conjunction with a really clean diet. But that's not a necessity. As long as people are not having the lymphatic drainage and then going home and kind of getting stuck into a heap of alcohol or a really heavy meal. My advice to people is to rest, to eat really lightly for the day before and the day after the lymphatic drainage, and to actually drink plenty of water, because what's happening when you're moving the fluid is you're working the kidneys harder than you normally would, because you're pushing a lot more fluid around the body than would normally move, because there's no pump for the lymphatic system. It's all done by hand, so it's we're manually pumping that fluid through. And the fluid carries all the toxins and the debris. So the lymphatic system's like a giant waste disposal unit for the body. So the best thing that you can do is treat your body well for a few days before and after, just to make sure that you don't have a whole lot of toxins that your body's trying to deal with, because it's already trying to deal with eliminating the stuff that's been in there for too long anyway. That's a good question, actually. And, I always try to direct clients to be mindful of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah. Also, another question that came to mind was about hot and cold showers. Like, does that have an effect too, like before and after that kind of treatment?
That's actually a good question, and I will... Yeah, I mean, there's vasoconstriction that comes with cold, and there's vasodilation, so it's more likely to affect the blood circulatory system. The best thing that you can do after a lymphatic drainage is rug up and keep warm. Just because you want to nurture the body and you want to make sure that you're giving your body the best possible chance to move fluid. So normally out of that 10 litres of fluid that we have, we've got 7.5 litres that sits under the surface of the skin and about 2.5 litres that circulates through the deep visceral organs. Normally in a 1 day period, out of that 10 litres, only 2 litres actually rejoins the bloodstream and goes back through the heart. However, after a manual lymphatic drainage, for the first 24 to 48 hours after the drainage, that whole 10 litres of fluid that would normally take 5 days to go back through your heart actually goes back through the heart in 24 hours. So you speed up the lymphatic system times 5 to 10 for the first 24 to 48 hours. So the best thing that you can do is keep warm and keep cozy and try not to get too cold, because the cold will vasoconstrict and slow everything down, including the lymphatic system. So you just need to make sure that even a warm bath after a lymphatic drainage with some Epsom salts in it is a great idea.
Okay, that's very good. Was there anything else in particular you would like to talk about with that particular type of massage?
I've got a soapbox about lymphatic drainage. I think it's the best massage treatment on the market, really, and combined with everything else that massage therapists and healers and physical therapists like to use. So adding that into your toolbox is like having, a really special trick up your sleeve that you can pull out and utilise with everything else that you're doing. The trick is to use the lymphatic drainage basically before you do anything else. So if you're using deep pressure trigger point therapy or some pretty hardcore myofascial release, often that stuff will actually cause inflammation. So the best thing to do is to switch the lymphatic system on before you start those types of therapies, so that once those therapies have been applied, you'll be moving that inflammation a lot more quickly through the system than you would if it was just sitting there trying to heal the area. So I mean, massage is a massive field, and one type of modality doesn't work for all types of people we've got out there, because it's kind of like every time you step up to the table, it's like painting a picture. Your client is different every time, and so the therapy and the styles that you use will be different for each person. It's all about understanding the person on a physical and a spiritual and an emotional level, and then applying what you know. But manual lymphatic drainage is so gentle that you can use it with most other techniques, including Reiki and the healing arts as well.
Okay, very good. Yeah, do you have a special offer for those that will be viewing this?
Absolutely. I've got courses coming up in 2017 in Melbourne. I'll also be going up to the Gold Coast as well. So for anybody that's viewing this, if you want to join in on a manual lymphatic drainage or a self-care for therapists course, the offer is 10% off the course fee. Self-care runs for 1 day and the lymphatic drainage runs for 2 days. So there's a 10% discount on both of those courses available to listeners.
Oh, great. Do you have a website?
I do. Yeah. Yep. It's Rhythm Massage, RhythmMassage.com.au, and it's the same with my Facebook page for my business as well, Rhythm Massage. And I post on the Facebook page all the upcoming courses and different things that I've written or things that I'm interested in. For example, I was published actually last week in a student journal talking about self-care for massage therapists and body workers and healers. So that's, all the things that I do are posted up on the website and on the Facebook page, so people can check it out and just see what I'm up to. You can join in on a course. You can email me anytime and ask me to send you some information about lymphatic drainage, because, if there's anything I'm passionate about, that's it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Absolute pleasure, Leslie. It was so nice to talk about it. It's funny, once I start talking, I get on a bit of a roll about it. I know a lot about this topic, and I really love it.
Yeah. Well, it shows when you talk and your face lights up and that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If everybody in the world could have a lymphatic drainage, it'd be such a more relaxing and calm world.
Yeah. I'll actually just need to change the screen for a second, and
No
if you
problem.
can stay on the line, and I'll get back to you very soon.
No problem.
Okay, so up and coming, we actually have a trip that people can actually come with us to India if they so please. Now this is coming up in September next year, and the actual dates are from September 15 to October the 2nd, and we'll be travelling to India to Dr. Dhanwantari's institute there. It's actually called Aravid Sankel. That is the name of the institute where we'll be staying. It's a combined course, so he will actually be concentrating on the Ayurvedic side of things, and his wife will actually be concentrating on teaching us yoga. And Thai walking deer, he'll be concentrating on the shamanic side of things.
Okay.
We've actually also designed this course around a period of time in that year where a special dance festival actually happens. That dance festival goes for about 8 to 9 days, and what happens with that is it's a nighttime festival, but we won't be going every night. Like, there is a particular itinerary for this trip to India. So also on the 2nd, that is the day that the trip will be ending. On that particular morning, it is actually Gandhi's birthday, and we'll be travelling to an ashram. It'll be the ashram where, I thought that he was actually born very close to that ashram, but it turns out that Gandhi ran his freedom efforts from this particular ashram, and so there'll be like a special meditation will actually happen at that ashram before we leave. So for those that actually want to join in with this particular course, they will actually need to book their own flights. For those that wish to travel from Australia to India, what we can do is we can try and organise like a group booking of like 4 flights from Australia to India. But for those that are travelling internationally, that they'll need to arrange their own flights. Yeah, so as information comes, I'll be able to tell people more about the costs and that kind of thing. There is a page on our website that has more information as well. It's just called Journey to India.